evening. I love doing this show. I just stand there, bop into the music. I think it's really, really catchy, isn't it? Hello and welcome to Crafters TV. It is Bank Holiday Monday here in the UK. I know it's probably not Bank Holiday everywhere. We've got this extra bonus Bank Holiday here today for the coronations. It's all things coronation. This is our coronation special weekend. So I hope you've enjoyed it as much as we have. I hope you've actually been able to see lots of the coronation and you've done lots of celebrating and, you know, and really enjoyed it. It's been a fantastic weekend, but this is the end of the bank holiday. Sorry, it's very quiet here. It's very quiet. There's only 5 of us in the building, so it's very, very quiet. And we'll be back to the normal noise tomorrow. But this is Monday Makers. So this is your chance to see some amazing demonstrations with some of your favourite products. And I'm really excited. This is all about this beautiful collection I've got here in front of me. If you tuned in this morning for Wake Up Call, you'll have got a little bit of a sneak peek, but it's going to be absolutely fun. We've got loads of demos, we've got loads of deals still going, we've got our pick of the day, we've got our Monday mega deals as well. We've got all of those. We've still got double points all night until midnight. So please, please keep on shopping. And we were saying just between shows, there were still quite a few carts being checked out. I think you are all aware that all of the deals will be running out tonight at midnight. So please, please make sure you check out before those deals end. But I'm in the kitchen. I've got no glass mat in front of me. I've got no craft bag with me. It's very strange. I'm not demonstrating. It's Jan. Good evening.
Good evening. Yes, thrilled to be back. Honestly, it's like I don't come very often, but when I do come, I usually stay all day. So yes, we were just debating about whether we needed our car or our canoe again to get home. It's absolutely barreling down outside again, isn't it? So we've got everything crossed that within the next couple of hours it's stopped to dry because both Corrine and I are driving home tonight. So yeah, I can hear it on the roof, and I'm just thinking, go away, go away, go away.
Hopefully it won't be too loud, and that I know when it gets really, really heavy, you can actually hear it over the microphone, so hopefully it won't get that bad. Anyway, let's start off on a cheery note, and we're going to have a look at our wildflower. Now, this is a selection, so it's a collection made up of what's left of the original collection, or a selection made up of the original collection. So you can see on there today, it is $79.99 or $99, but your platinum price is $63.99 or $79.20. So what are you going to get for that? You're going to get loads of loveliness, absolutely tons of loveliness. You're going to get your 12 by 12 paper pad. This is gorgeous. I love, obviously, the wildflower feel to this. You know, you're going to get, it's untamed. I think that's a good way to describe it, isn't it? There's no, it is natural. It feels like when you look at this one, I look at this one and I think it's like sitting down in the middle of a really wildflower meadow and just looking through that. Yeah. I can always remember we went on a picnic once in a wildflower meadow, and the buttercups were above our heads. Yeah, it was amazing.
They're just gorgeous, aren't they?
Absolutely beautiful. So you've got all of those on there. Look at these. The colour palette is beautiful. Loads of detail. These are going to be perfect for 12 by 12s. You can cut them down to 8 by 8. You can use strips. There's detail all over these. Absolutely gorgeous. You're going to get all, as it says on here, 36 sheets, 180 GSM in these. Absolutely perfect. You're going to get those. Now, we're going to give you your A4 linen card pack. So this is 20, oh, it's upside down. 28 sheets, it says on the back. I think that's right. Would that be right? So you've got, no, that can't be right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yes, it would. 740. Yes, 28.
Yeah,
that's right.
28 pieces.
28 pieces.
7 colours, 4 of each.
There we go. I just needed to work that one through. Now, the colours you're going to see there, if I show you, let's flip to any page, just randomly at any page, and then straight away you can use, oh, I'm going the wrong way, There you go. Look at that. You can pick up the colours. The blues are picking up the right colours of the blues. The purples, I can see that pink just there, look, is just the right shade of pink. Oh, I've gone the wrong way again. I've gone the wrong way. There we go. What's happened there? I've been doing this all day. You'd think I wouldn't know what I was doing. The pinks are the right colours. The greens are the right colours. They're absolutely gorgeous. All of this has been perfectly colour matched. Don't know what I'm doing. You've then got our gorgeous edgeable. So this is our Meadow Flowers edge dye. Isn't this beautiful? And Jan had some beautiful samples with this to show how different it can be, whether you paper piece, colour, or just have it, you know, black and white. It's going to look gorgeous. I think I'm a convert to this embossing folder after seeing Jan's demo. I'm very sad it didn't win demo of the show because it was definitely my favourite. I'm absolutely loving that. So this is a 2D embossing folder, so you'll know all your plate combinations for that. You've got your stamps, so many stamps on here, look at these, and I love that some of them have got the little flower embellishments as well. Some are plainer, still with lovely font, but plainer, and then some of them have got the little decorations. And I'm going to show you these two bits together because I think they work so well together. You have got your wildflower dies. So it's called mailbox flowers. So you've got all of these gorgeous floral dies that are going to cut out your floral elements like this. But you're going to have a stencil to make the little bouquet holder. So we're also going to give you the card that you're going to use, or the paper, to make these little stencils. You're going to get 50 sheets of that as well. These are beautiful. Everyone's been blown away by these. Then you're going to get, I've got one little thing there, yeah, one thing there. And then you're going to get this one, which is the wildflower wreath. I think it's one of the prettiest wreaths I've seen for a long time. I love how they've made it 2 dies, so it can cut in or it can cut out. You've got the choice, and this is what we like. We like options on how to do things. Cut this out of white, cutting it into your cardstock, and then cut maybe a craft on over the top with that. You know, it's going to look absolutely beautiful. You can line the apertures up. But you're going to get all of that. Platinum price today, $63.99 or $79.20. But that looks lovely. Lot to talk through there, but you want to know what you can do with this, and I think Jan is going to show you something else. Going to be absolutely blown away by what we can make with this.
Right, okay, I was just going to bring the one you were talking about in. If you didn't see the earlier show at Wake Up Call this morning, this is the one that Corrine was talking about with the embossing folder. And all I've done here is literally pass a piece of cardstock through that embossing folder and then literally used my sanding block just with a little piece of fine sandpaper to actually take the surface off the cardstock and expose that lovely embossed detail. And then if you can just see where it's catching the light there, I've used a little bit of our glossy highlights just in the centre of each of the flowers there, just to accent it. And then that paper, which we did discover was from the paper pad. Jan was having a senior moment if you were watching the show, but yes, it was from the pad. So that's the one that we did earlier. I'm actually going to have a look at those gorgeous mailbox flowers in this demo and show you, if you haven't seen it already, how to do the little bouquet with the brown paper. So I've actually prepared my card blank, and I've gone for a DL card this time. It's not something I do a lot of, I must admit, but I do like that tall, skinny card. So the DL just stands for double length. So whatever your width is, you double it to make the height. So in this case, I've just gone with my 8 1/4 inch standard cardstock here in the UK. So this measures 4 1/8, and then on the length, I've just left it at the standard 8 1/4 inches. So literally half the width, double the length, which is where the DL comes from. And then, as always, I like to just pop, you know, I like to pop my piece inside. So again, I've just taken a piece of the multi-purpose cardstock, which is what I made my card blank from. I've used one of the sentiments from the sentiment set that says, "Have a blooming good day," and I've popped that in. And then this is just a little scrap off the paper that I've used for the front of the card, just to bring, I like to sort of coordinate the front and the back. So we'll pop that one in a second. And on the front, I have used a piece of the textured card from the card pack. I love this sort of, it's almost like an aubergine colour. It's a very sort of like, you get blue purples and pink purples, and this is very much leaning to that sort of pink area there. So this is going to be for the front. And then what I've done is I've taken one of my papers out of here, and we've just, let's have a little look. It was the one with the neutral background, this one. Okay, now for what I wanted to do with putting all the flowers on the front, again, I felt that this was a little bit busy. So I've just used the reverse of that, and you can see here how that matches up. And that's why I had the little scrap left. You can just see that little bit there that's got the lilac and the blues in there that we used as an accent inside. So again, you know, don't be afraid to turn them over and use the other side. So I've matted and layered that to go on the front. I've used my little paper distresser around the edges, and then I've just used one of my corner punches to pop a fancy corner on there. So we'll get that stuck down ready, and then I'll show you how the die works. So just to use the tape runner there to pop this one, and we'll put the inside piece in, and then I'm going to show you the die set. So that one's going to go on the front like so. Oops, keep it straight. And then I'm going to pop this one, and I've just inked around the edge so that the white card stands out against the back of the white actual construction of the card there. And again, we're just going to pop that one with the tape pen. If you wish to use your wet glue, absolutely fine. But that one's just going to go inside the back. I've omitted the matte layer out of this one. I didn't really think it was necessary inside, but it's entirely up to you. If you want to pop that, you know, that purpley layer around it so that it matches the front, you could do that. I've just gone around with my ink pad just to give the idea that there's like a faux matte layer. So that's my card blank at the ready. And then we're going to sort of have a look at the dies. So in here, we get an amazing amount of metalwork in there. So many different ones of the meadow flowers. You can see lots of flowers. There is some foliage in there. You've got the stems for the single flowers, leaves, all sorts of different pieces. What I would suggest is if you're buying into this today, when you get it home, is just pop some of the dies through on some plain cardstock so that you can see what they look like when they're die cut. And then you've got those as a reference point for future when you're actually cutting them, whether you cut them out of white card and colour them, whether you cut them out of scraps of coloured card, out of elements from the paper pad, lots of different ways of doing it. And then you also get this little template in here. So this actually matches the set of brown parcel paper that we've got. You get 50 pieces of this, okay, and it's just been done to exactly the right size to make the little bouquet. So if I take one of those out of here, these are actually 2 3/4 inches square. So first of all, we'll do this one. You can see that they match the template perfectly. And what I did was just use my little sponge mat here, because you're either going to draw or score in the grooves. So I just used the other end of my score tool here, and just on, because it's on the foam mat, I'm going to get enough pressure to make a score line. You don't want to go too heavy because this is only very thin. You don't want to sort of go straight through. And all I've done is pop those two. I don't know whether you can actually pick those. You can just see there where it's created that shape, yeah? So pop those to one side, and then all I'm going to do is fold away from that score line and make sure that it goes right down to the point in the corner here. Okay, give that one a little burnish, and then I'm going to do the same at the other side. So again, fold this one down, making sure it comes to a nice point right down at the corner, and then burnish that one in place. And then you can see when these cross over now, whichever way, there's no right or wrong, whichever way they go. All I'm going to do then is pop a little bit of glue underneath here, overlap, and you can see here now you've got that lovely little pocket to pop your flowers in and make that effect as if you've got a nice little bouquet. So that's exactly what we're going to do. Now, this one's brilliant for your scrap busting. I keep all my pieces of textured card that are scraps off what I've cut, lots of different collections, whatever they are. I just like the textured cardstock. I think it just adds that extra little bit of something to your designs. So again, I've been in the scrap pack. I've pulled some pieces out that I wanted to cut. I have actually die cut a lot of these, but I thought I'd just show you one or two of them so that you can see what they look like. So we'll do a single one, we'll do some leaves on the green, and what else have we got? We've got the sunflower there, and then this one I'd got for the centre of the sunflower. So let's pop that to one side, bring one of the plates in, And I am just going to pop a little tiny bit of tape on these so that they don't move around. Now, I sat at my desk with my Gemini Mini with these. I'm actually going to pop them through the large Gemini today because I've got several together, but I just sort of had a look which ones I wanted to cut, pop them on, and this is more than, you know, ample to go through your, if you've got the Mini, absolutely great for just popping the little dies through on their own. So again, we'll pop all these on here together, and we should be able to pass all those through at the same time. So again, normal selection of shims and that top one, and then run that through your Gemini or your chosen die cutting machine. It will work in any of the machines, ours or other brands. They are just a thin metal die, and you're going to end, oh, one of those has just slipped. We might have a little bit missing. Pesky bits tried to get out of the edge. We might just have made it. So again, when these come out, you've got those lovely little flowers to have a play with. So we've got one there, that's our little sunflower. We have got, I love the shape of this one. You can see that one there. Again, just pop the dies to one side.
Reminds me
so
quite
that I don't lose
cornflower. I
them.
know the colour's different, but cornflower, that one's reminding me of.
Is it? I'm not overly, I know the names of the flowers I like, but flowers in general, I'm not overly, flowers and birds, I'm not an authority on, I must admit. Yeah, we just managed that one. And you can see some of the foliage there. So I've done this at home, and I've cut a bunch of different things out. I'll show you what I've done with them. We've actually got some more of the leaves there in the green. I've used a slightly darker green to cut one of the other foliage pieces. I've used a little bit of that sort of deeper purple to cut those out. Now these ones, because they were two-tone, I've actually cut these out of some scrap white all-purpose card and just used my markers on them. So I used a green for the foliage and then just added some colour on the top. So whether you want to use an alcohol marker or a watercolour marker or whatever colouring medium, you might want to use your inks with the little finger daubers if you have those, just to create, you know, whatever colour scheme you wanted. And then I've actually got some of those single flowers as well. Let's put those out of there. So you can see I've cut the little daisies in white.
They're pretty.
Absolutely gorgeous. And then I have a stamp at home, I have a punch at home that's got lots of different size circles in, because the circles aren't with the flowers. So I just punched out some yellow for the daisies. You can see the sunflower there, I've just popped a dark middle in. This
Makes them pop, doesn't it?
Yeah, this is this one here, look. And then I have a die that just cuts out a little tiny bow, so we're going to use that. That's not part of the set, it is from a different one of our own sets, and I'm just going to use that on the closure of the piece there. And then I've stamped Life is Better with Flowers, which again is one of the sentiments from the sentiment set there in those Stay Wild sentiments, so we're going to use that as well. So all I'm going to do is on the front of the card here, we're going to create a nice little arrangement with some of these. We might not use all of these pieces, but I've got them at the ready. So the idea is I'm going to have my sentiment towards the bottom here, and then I'm going to have that lovely bouquet of flowers in the top. Okie doke, so let's have a little look. I think we'll actually pop some of the flowers I'm going to tuck inside, and some of the pieces I'm going to stick and cover so that there's not too much going off inside here, because by the time we've built the bouquet up, you won't be able to tell, you know, whether it's above or below. So I think some of the pieces I'm actually going to pop underneath, so that there's not so much bulk going on inside here. So again, I'm just going to take my tacky glue. Now it may be, if you're very sort of savvy and add some double-sided adhesive to the back of your scraps and then die cut them, you'll have them ready sticky, but Jan didn't think of that. So I'm just going to bring in my tacky glue here. And again, I don't need lots of glue. I'm just going to do little tiny pieces without the bubble, just every so often there.
It's quite nice with foliage to have some bits not glued down, doesn't it? Because it sort of gives
just to give it a little bit of movement.
Yeah.
So I'm going to see whereabouts I want to put this one, and then I'm just going to have that one in the background there. And then the same with these two, and then we'll start and slot bits inside as well. So again, I'm not going to go on every single one. I'm just going to put a little bit to tack it down. And again, I want to do that as if it's coming out as well. So that one can go on here.
Yeah, what you've got to be careful is that you've not got it coming out of the side,
yes,
otherwise...
so that's why I keep popping this in place, because you want them to be hidden behind that sort of wrapper there, And
if they come out the side, then it's obvious they're not inside the wrapper, isn't it?
That is right.
It's a good tip to get into the habit of.
So again, just holding that in place here and making sure, like Corrine says, that it's within the parameters of that little wrap there. So again, pop that one down. That's going to be at the back. And then I'm actually going to stick this down on top so that we can start working inside it. So I'm just going to use a little bit again of my tacky glue there and pop this one in position like so. Give that a press down. And when we finish, you won't realise that these are actually behind. It just makes it easier to slide some of the other pieces inside that sort of little packing area there. So we'll save that one for the time being. What I thought we'd do is pop some of the longer pieces in the back. And don't be afraid, you know, if you want to get rid of some of this, if it's all going down inside the packaging, you could actually get rid of some of these pieces off the bottom so that you've literally just got them stuck inside. So again, I'm just going to pop, I'm not going to put the whole thing down, I'm just going to pop some little tiny pieces of glue on the bottom section.
Again, it's helping with the bulk, isn't it?
Tweezers are your best friend for this. You know I use mine a lot.
Oh, I do. I think you and I probably use them more than anybody.
They're like an extension of my fingers, they really are. Okay, and then we're going to go the same. I do the same with this one so that there's not as much bulk inside the little packet there. And again, just little tiny, you don't need a massive amount of glue. We're just wanting to sort of tack them down. So again, slide that one inside. I want those to sort of go between the foliage there. And then these ones, I wanted to come on the outside.
They look so pretty.
So again, just pop in on the outside there. Now I did cut a little bit of this already, but I'm going to take a little bit more off there. And again, you know, little tiny tacks of glue. You don't need much on there at all, just enough to seal it in place. And then I'm going to slot one of those in the edge here.
Already you've covered up the back to see that.
So it's not going to be obvious that those are actually, you know, behind it. It just means that you've not got quite so much bulk going on inside, and they're not fighting for space inside there with all the little stems and things. So it's optional. It was just my take on it. If you want to pop them all in first and then stick it down, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just that there's getting, you know, quite a bit of cardstock going off inside here. So we've got those on that layer, and then the bigger flowers I'm actually going to bring towards the front as if they're on here. As I say, we might not use all of them. We'll go with that one in the top there. So that one's going to go and just be a little bit sort of tucked inside here so that I can still see some of the pink ones. So I don't need the extra foliage. We'll not use the other daisy. And then these two, I'm actually going to bring as if these were at the front of the packaging here.
You know, it's amazing how the different ones, because so we did the lily before, a completely different collection. I know it's a decoupage, and it was all about getting the shape and the dimension on these, whereas with this collection it's not about adding shape to them, it's about building up layers and
just that sort of different sort of pieces
so
of
everything
it.
We have so many different collections and you use them in such different ways. It's fascinating to watch.
I love this kind of thing because you know you're very rarely going to get the same thing twice. You know, next time it might be that you cut them in different colours and you'll get a different look. It might be that you use a different selection of flowers and you get a different look. And that's what I like about it. It just gives you a little bit of scope as to what you want to do with them. So those last two pieces of foliage that I had cut, I've cut them down and I'm just popping those in behind that sort of front layer so that we've got a bit of detail at the front as well there. So
it's really
just
but it's not bulky.
And then I've got some tape on the back of this one ready. This is going to go on the bottom. So we're going to pop this one level with the edge of the card here at the bottom. Okay, and then my little tiny bow, again, just a little tack of glue there. And this one's just going to go as if it's the detail on the front of your bouquet there. Okay. So the spare ones I will just keep in a little packet and keep it with my die so that I've got them for a future, you know, sort of card design if that's what I choose to do, rather than throw them away. So we'll get rid of some of the bits and then just give you a little look of that one so you can see it there on the desk. And if we turn it round for you, you've got that lovely DL style there with the little bouquet on, and I just think, you know, that would brighten anybody's day. It could be for any particular occasion. It might just be a thinking of you. It could be for a birthday celebration, any kind of celebration there. And again, just tying that inside with your outside, again, it just stabilizes it a little bit, and you've got it there, and that would fit in a normal DL size envelope. But how nice would it be if you've got the envelope maker or the envelope box maker to use one of those lovely sheets of 12 by 12 and actually make a patterned envelope yourself to go with it, to put that in. Possibly if you've got a couple of little flowers left, you could actually put those on the closure of the envelope, so again it all ties together, and you've got a really nice, it's like, it's a card becomes a gift, I think, when you've got that level of crafting with it. But you know, there's no right or wrong with the bouquet. Just have a look, and if you're not sure about it, try it dry first. That's what I did at home. Cut all the pieces, and by dry I mean don't stick anything down. Just place it and see how it looks, and if you're happy with it, if you use a phone, take a quick photo of it with your phone so that you can see where you put everything, move it all away, use the picture, and then use your glue to stick it back in the place that you were happy with.
Perfect, absolutely gorgeous. Now, if you want that and you're Platinum member, your price today is going to be $63.99 or $79.20. Right, I never said good evening to everybody. I'm so sorry. I was so excited to get into the wildflower selection that I forgot. We've got so many people here this evening. I can't believe how many messages. We've got Lynn Blackledge says, hi, I'm sorting in my craft room. Hope I don't get buried alive by my stash. When you finish, Lynn, my room could do with sorting, please. We've got Brenda Munro says good afternoon everyone. Donna Yam says good afternoon. Carletta, hello everyone from Arkansas. Diane Cadman, good evening everyone. I hope it's not raining as much with you, Diane, as it is here. Fred171, greetings from California. Charlotte Everett says good evening all my crafty lovelies from here in Herne Bay. Crafting away, inking up lots of embossing I've done. Oh, I'd love to see what you've been doing. Zoe Carver says evening everyone. Barbara R says hello everyone from Indiana. Beth Valone is in from New York. Jenny Barker is in from Ohio. We've got everyone. Mary Pat 1000 says good morning everyone from Montana. I'm well rested after 10 hours sleep following my 2 retreats the past 3 days. All set for Monday makers. 10 hours sleep. Oh, that would be bliss. That would be bliss. I slept in a room last night with white blinds, so I found that at 4:30 I was like, ping, wide awake because it was so bright. But there we are. I snuggled back down. It was all right. Val Lloyd says, hi all. Back after an afternoon listening to local community bass brand. Ready to see some demos. And that's Val in Southampton. Sarah Lee says, hi, Corrine Jan and Crafters TV team. Still Johnny, still Charlotte, and it's still Jake out there, but we've now got Susie's been on socials for this show and half of the last one. So there we go. We've got Collins Corey, good day from Bridgeton, Missouri. Oh, Bridgeton. Oh, we've got a Bridgeton we do that in the UK. It's a TV programme. Kim Rice on Facebook says, I love this collection. We all do, Kim. Jenny said, I love the sanded look on Boss Services. Lynn Morton says, evening lovelies. Oh, we're nearly there. Anne I'm so sorry, says, have they ever explained why they are mailbox flowers? Did you know the answer to that one, Jan? I think I know why they are.
Mailbox.
Shall I say? So, in the UK, we have a delivery called mailbox flowers. We get them, and I've had them a few times. So they come in a long, thin box, all your flowers, and they come, and they're very often long, thin flowers, and they often have like little sleeves over the flower heads to protect them.
Right.
And they come through the mail. They must feed them in a certain way when they're first cut, and they're absolutely fine in the box. And they're really most of the ones I've had have all been those long flowers.
Yeah.
And they come in the box, and then when you get them, you take them out, snip the ends off and make your own bouquets. And I've had them a few times, and it's a really nice way to give flowers to somebody that you're not close to. And as soon as I saw that, I equated them to the mailbox service we have in the UK.
I didn't know the answer to that, so I'm glad you've experienced that, Corrine.
That's what I haven't ever read anywhere, but I could see the correlation between the ones that I received and those. They looked very similar. There we go. So I hope that answers the question, Anne. So I don't know where you are, if you're not in the UK, because in the UK, like I say, they're actually called mailbox flowers. Betty Weaver says, hello from Idaho. Hubby J is joining us after finishing his first solo card. I'll see it next week, lol. Oh,
that's
I thought you were going to show it us. So it must be your birthday next week, Betty.
That's lovely.
That'll be lovely. I'm guessing that, because if you're getting the card next week. Susan Griffiths says, hello there, Corrine and Jan. How good to log in and see you both with CCTV team and Susie on Team Social. Well, it's lovely to have you here, Susan. Beth Metzger is here from North Dakota. Susan Benson says, hello to all. I have had extreme hassles with the quartz countertop people. Crafters TV, take me away. Well, what better way to forget about everything else that's going on in the world than watching our Jan doing some lovely demos on Monday Makers. If anything can make you forget about the hassles you've had with your quartz worktop, I don't know what the problem is. I hope it's sorted, then Crafters TV will make you forget about it. Mary Pat 1000 said, very pretty card, Jan. Sue Benson loved this card. Simple and elegant. There you go.
Thank you very much.
Lynn Morton is in from a very wet Newcastle. Well, you're obviously just down the road from us, Lynn, and we've got it too. Pamela says, lovely card. Beth says, very pretty, love this collection. Great tip to use your phone. I've moved everything to glue, then couldn't get them back right. Yeah, use your phone, use your tablet, whatever you do. It's brilliant. And then you'll have a lovely library of ideas on your phone as well.
I do it if I'm scrapbooking as well. I'll lay all my scrapbook layout down dry and then take a picture of it and then move it, and you've got a guide then as to where you had everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Evelyn says hello from Colorado. Now I love this. May Day, Fred 171 says, on May Day, it is customs to leave a bunch of flowers in others' mailboxes. We did that when I was a child in the USA. Maybe that's what it is.
Maybe.
I just equated it personally with ones I'd received through the mailbox. But I like that idea, leaving them in the mailbox. That's lovely. And Wanda says, good morning from Lewiston, Idaho. Lots of sun, expecting thunder and lightning soon. Waiting impatiently for the release of the Duet ink pads. I don't think you're waiting patiently. I think you're on that. Not long. Tomorrow morning. Pardon? It's what, sorry? Oh, right, yes. Very good tip from our Johnny. Sorry, I was hearing that.
Riot again.
He said, if you're in America, set your alarms for wake-up call tomorrow. If these go like the shimmer ink pads, they sold out on the day.
Before
and we think they are. Yeah. They had a first look of them on Saturday with Lily, went wild. So please, please, if you want them tomorrow, if you miss them, you're going to have to wait for them to be reordered, and that's going to take months because they're going to be on some slow boat from China somewhere. So yes, if you want them, I would set your alarm bright and early. Oh, Hannah says, evening all, Jan inspired me earlier, so I've already made one of the cards she had earlier, and I'm halfway through a second wildflower card.
Oh, lovely.
There you go.
Send us some photos.
Yes, we'd love to see that.
Send us some pictures in.
Betty says it's Mother's Day next Sunday in the US. That's what the card her husband's been making.
Ah,
there you go.
Lovely.
There we are. Right, I'm caught up with comments. Something about that. Right, lots of comments, but that's what this is all about. And, you know, ask those questions. I don't know of any other one where we are quite so interactive quite so quickly, so it's lovely. Now, this is the Totally Tiffany Desk Made. Now, this is one of our Monday mega deals, so this one will only be on the system till midnight tonight, and it is the as it says, it is the desk made. So what you're going to get in here is you're going to get the base unit, just here. you're going to get this lovely big base unit. Oh, there we go, you can see that. Oh, that's picking up quite well. Sometimes it's not been very clear. You're going to get the base unit, which has got the nice hard bottom in there, so it's not going to fall out. It's really sturdy. And then you're going to get all of these holders, pockets, however you want to call them. Now this is a 12 by 12, and I always say, totally Tiffany, you always get a lot more room so things don't get dog-eared. You've got things like that one, you've got your box, your square box, you've got your smaller one with the shaped sides, so that's going to be brilliant for your 6 by 6s, and your little one, this is going to maybe all your little scraps, or you know, you can put dies in here. And then you've got a couple of pen holders and utensil holders. Now Johnny says you actually get more of the smaller ones that will fit in here. You also get, oh, you get those little, none of the contents will come with it, this is just for demonstration to show you. Now you will also get these little clips. They look like giant paper clips, and how they work is they clip onto the side there, so you can see I'm losing half of that down there, and then your next one at the side here has got the same on, because they've got them all the way around. So let me go that way so you can see. So then they clip one onto the other. There we go. So you can see they are now joined. So when you put them in here, they are so much more stable. They're not going to fall over, and you know you can guarantee that everything stays together when you're moving it about. Now it's up to you how you use these. These could be your permanent desk tidy for all your main things that you like to keep on your desk. So you could use this for your staples. So you know your favourite pads. I've got some plates in here. I've got rocker blocks. I've got gilding flakes. I've got inks. I've got pens. You know, some of your favourite pens that you might have bought. Keep it for you there, or make it project based. If whatever you're making, put everything in here for that project. Are you doing some scrapbook pages that are taking up a little bit more time? Doesn't have to be papercraft. Perhaps this is your sewing desktop, your desk made. So maybe you've got all of your fabrics, your patterns, your needles, your threads, you know, all of those little bits in there. It's entirely up to you. It could be brilliant on an office desk, if that's what you want. So you can have, you know, papers in there, workbooks in here, you know, calculators in here, all the bits that you need, manuals in here, you know, your regular store of pens. It's entirely up to you. Jan made a brilliant point earlier. It's just over 12 inches square. If I put my paper pad down, it's taking up just under the footprint of this. Then I've got all of the other things. I've hardly filled this one up. If I emptied everything out from on here, it would take up more space than that footprint. This is going to be a really economical use of your desk. It's going to take up all this crafty goodness, takes up a lot less space than if it was all loose. So this should normally be £60, but today you're going to get it for £30 or $36, and your platinum price is £24 or $28.80. Stick in your code CROWN20. If it qualifies and it's a better deal, you're going to get your 20% off that as well. So that is one of our Monday mega deals, and the other one that we're going to have a look at is our illustrators, which are brilliant. Now, £1 a pen is your platinum price for these. £1 a pen. They should be $24.99, so they should be just over £2 a pen, but you're going to get them if you're platinum for £12.20. These are your top of the range alcohol pens that we do here at Spectrum Noir. You've got all of these lovely colours on the back here. Look at you can see the blending of the yellows, the greens, the blues, the lilacs, the sort of pinky colours and the corally colours as well, and you're going to get all of those in there. Absolutely adore my illustrators. If you've never tried illustrators and you've been wanting to try them, this might be the way for you to have a go. You've got your small fine bullet nib at that end, and you'll always know it's that end because there's an extra band all the way around so you can see, and then you've got your Japanese brush nib on that end, which is absolutely gorgeous. If you've never tried them, maybe, like I say, this is going to be your opportunity to try them, and I can promise you, you'll be blown away. The Japanese nib is second to none. It's artist quality. They are absolutely brilliant. Instead of £24.99, your platinum price for these, right down there, look at that, £12.20. An amazing, amazing deal. So which one, sorry, we're going to look at next? word cuttings, not cookings, cuttings. There we go, let me move those out of the way. Right, these are beautiful, and I think our Jan's just setting up ready to do a demo for these, and she's got some samples that we can see. Now what these work in is, you can see all of this will cut into your cardstock. So you've got things like my friend, and then you've got lots of extra stamp sentiments. So you're so special to me, my friend. You're the best, my friend. You mean the world to me, my friend. There we go. Or my friend, you mean the world to me. So whichever way around it is you want it. So we've got my friend. You've got celebrate. Look at that. It's lovely. I mean, and you can cut it into your cardstock like that. Maybe cut it again and paper piece on top. You've got thank you. Really, really usable sentences, you know, comments. With love. This is a lovely big bundle. There we go. With love. You've got, oh, we've got my friend. That's why it looks like such a big bundle. We're repeating. You don't get 2 my friends and 2 celebrate. You get 1. And have I done birthday? Have I already done birthday? I don't think I have I? So does that make 5 in total? 5. So let's see. I had some duplicates there. Birthday, my friend, celebrate, oops, thank you, and with love. We get there in the end. You just read them blindly, don't you? And when they have a duplicate, especially not together. Now, these should be £49.95. That would make sense, because that would make them £9.99 each. You see, even I can do that math. Today, they're £29, so we've dropped them to £6 each, or $38. Your platinum price for these is £23.20, or $30.40. But if you buy these today, as opposed to tomorrow, you're going to get double points on these as well. So that's going to add on extra points. So you're going to get the points as if you paid virtually full price for them. So I think that is a bargain. As I said, Jan is going to give us a demo with these.
I am, yes. I've got a few samples to show you, because these were actually designed in a manner that they would cut through 2 layers, and this is our multi-purpose card, which, as you know, is a 300 GSM cardstock, but you've got them lined up beautifully there. So just cutting into the card, they're just short of 6 inches, so they fit nicely in a 6-inch square card, and you've just got that little tiny bit of border anchoring them to the card there, as well as the base and the top of the letters. So that's the birthday one. We've also got my friend there, so again a different way to cut that one in. If I just open this up, we've got a nice little stepper card there, and we've used it in the top of the stepper. I've also got, you know, slightly higher up than the birthday, but this is one of the ones that goes straight through both pieces again. So we've got a thank you on that one. We've got with love, so again really nice design on that one. It's like a reverse gatefold on there, and you can see through the sentiment in the middle. And then this one I showed earlier, I do like this one with the shaker pieces behind it. You've got the celebrate cut, you know, you don't have to just cut it once, you can cut it more than once. And then we've actually put acetate behind here, and it's got some little shaker pieces in the back. So again, you know, custom sized cards, you've got the ability to make the envelopes if you've got our enveloper system, and you can actually make your envelope to match. But I really like that. I like the colours of it, and I like the way that it's been cut multiple times. So I'm actually going to use the celebrate one. And I thought, seeing as it was our coronation weekend, I have gone with those typically British colours for this one. So again, they are just short of 6 inches in width. They're all the same width, and about just over a 1 1/4 inch high. So again, depending on the number of letters, depends on the size of them, because obviously the birthday one, you know, you've got a few more elements in there. So when I take this out, you can see we've got the actual metal work that is in reverse, but say celebrate. And then you've got options with them. So each one has its own little stamp set that corresponds with the wording. So again, you could have celebrate your success. It's time to celebrate. Celebrate in style. Celebrate your wonderful news. So we've gone with sayings that can be stamped with it, or you might just want the celebrate element on it. You know, you don't have to put the stamp pieces with it. I've gone for the celebrate in style, which I think is what we've all done here in the UK, and not necessarily just the UK. I know there's been a lot of people all over the world interested in what's been going off this weekend here. So what I'm going to do is, I've got essentially a gatefold, not a gatefold, a Z-fold card. Okay, so this is actually cut from a piece of A4. All right, and I've gone for a 5 3/4 square card. scored down the middle here, and then scored it halfway to make my Z. And you can see there where it gets its name from with that shaping. And then this is the piece that's slightly narrower than the piece. I've cut it down to about 2 inches here of the piece that obviously sliced off the edge of my A4. And I've done exactly the same scoring. Now, if you haven't seen these before, it's a really ingenious way of popping a card together because the folds are exactly the same. You can see there I've got those 2 pieces that have the same fold. And then all I'm going to do is flip this one all the way over so that the long piece is at this side and the short piece fits at the other side, and that's essentially the shaping. It's like a double Z fold. Now what I thought we'd do again to try and do something a wee bit different is I'm actually going to cut this one into the part that forms the rest of the design. So I'm going to take some tape because I want this to be in the centre here. Okay, and then I'm just going to look at this against the lines on my grid, and it's just the right length to get this inside and have a little tiny bit of card left to anchor it at each side so it doesn't cut it out completely. So again, I'm just going to tack a little bit of the tape onto the card there and pop it in place.
It's so useful having the grid lines on your mat, isn't it?
It is. I wouldn't be without mine. Even if you're using a self-healing cutting mat, they've often got the grid lines on there as well. So again, because I've got that longer piece of card, I've just brought my longer plates out here. But having said that, all the actual dies themselves will go on that smaller plate size and your MIDI as well, if you prefer to use the MIDI. It just depends on the size of the project as to how much space you need on the plates there. So we're going to cut that into that piece that folds across the card. And then I've sort of gone ahead a little bit and prepped it a bit further to show you what I've done. So just take that one out of there and I'll show you what it looks like. So again, I just want to get that tape off carefully so that it doesn't damage. And just by rolling it back rather than actually tearing it, I find that it does less damage. So once we've got that bit out of the way and released it, we can take this out, and then the same at this end. Okay, so pop that to one side. I can clean that in a second, but you can see now that I've got that wording cut in, and this is going to be the front section of my card here. Okay, so I'm going to do a little bit of matting and layering on the inside. Now I was looking for something that sort of fit. Obviously we use the red, white and blue for our celebrations, and I went back to one of my very old pads that I absolutely love. When it came out, just fell in love with it, and it was called Best of British, and it's probably going back a couple of years now that it was launched, but if any of you still got it at home, it was perfect for this. And I actually found a nice striped one that had the colours that I wanted, and I've got some plain red cardstock there just to do a matte layer. So let's get those stuck down first. I'm just going to use that tape pen again to pop this inside. And then what I've done is I've actually lined the piece that I've just die cut so that you can see that wording much better. And I'll show you what I've done in a second when we've stuck these down. Okay, so that's the back one. And then this was for the front panel. Now, I don't usually bother matting and layering this inside one, but again, there's no reason that says you can't. You know, if you want to pop an extra piece in there, that's absolutely fine. But I tend to just go with the front one here. It also leaves you with this style of card somewhere to write if you want to write a message, but more often than not, when you've got something stuck on the front there, I normally mat and layer the back and write my message on the back of a card like this. So you can see if I put this on here now, it doesn't show up particularly well, not as well as I would like. So what I've done is I've done this, got this far, and I've just popped a little bit of blue behind it, and you can see now that we've got a whole different ball game. It's showing up much better. It's keeping in with that colour scheme, and I've just popped some little red gems on to keep the colour scheme, and then matted and layered some scrap pieces. Just went in my scrap box for some elements that sort of matched, and this was from the stamp set, so we've got Celebrate in Style. Okay, now just before I stick that down, in the paper pad as well that I used were some like icon elements here. Okay, so I've just cut this out of the paper pad, popped a little bit of tape on the back ready, and I'm going to put this on, and then realise when I didn't design this and done my layout dry, like I said I did, I thought, oh, now then, we've got our lovely late Queen on here, not the King. So we had to sort of have a look at how to address that. So let's just stick this piece down and I'll show you what I've done, which was perfect to just fill in the gap. So this one is going to sit on the front, and then the inside piece lines up nicely with the outside edge of the card there. So I'm going to stick that one down in place. And then I've got tape on the back of this section as well. So you just want tape to cover the front piece here. And then obviously that's going to disguise that piece that's in the background there. So again, keep it closed, and that one should fit all the way across there to that outside. So we've got the bulk of our card at the ready. Okay, so this bit here, I've got a little tiny pennant to go at the top there that I've popped together again, just out of some of the scrap pieces. My little star die is never far away from my desk. I use it on all sorts of different things. A few gems on there. We're going to pop that on. And then if any of you have that Best of British collection that I'm referring to, there were different sets of dies in there. One of them was typically very sort of London, with the London bus on, and it had a taxi on it, I think it had a mailbox on it, and it also had the perfect embellishment for what I needed in there. So this was one of the stamp sets. I've just coloured it with my pens, and it was perfect for what I needed. So I do apologise to our late Queen, because we are going to cover her up, and we're just going to pop the little crown on there, which solved the problem, and it also keeps it in keeping with what we were doing. So we've got those beautiful word cutting dies, but then I've teamed it up with all the other embellishments that just made it very celebratory for this weekend.
Absolutely beautiful. And it just come through, Michelle Harris says this would be great for Memorial Day or 4th of July in the US too.
Absolutely.
Right, we're going to watch a video, go to a break for a minute. But before we do that, I've got a question for everybody.
Ooh.
So, apparently, Betty Weaver's husband Jay has sent in a picture of his first ever card.
Oh wow.
It's her Mother's Day card for next week. So if we're going to show it, we have to get Betty to look away when we show it. So question is, should we show it and ask Betty to not look, or should we keep it a secret for next week? I need everybody to let me know which we need to do. There we go. So there we are. So it's come into the studio, but I've not seen it yet. So shall we show it and ask Betty just for that few minutes just to look away? But quickly, we've got 4 holiday designs here too. Olga says she uses her desk made as a stamping station. Love having everything to hand.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you could keep stamps in some of those. You've got your ink pads, your rocker blocks, your stamping platform. Really, really good idea is that. Lynn Harvey is here and says hi to everyone. Jeffrey Langley is here from another beautiful sunny day with slight breeze here in New Hampshire. Would you like some rain? I've got plenty. I can send it your way. Loads of rain. It's going free. We don't want it. Oh, Val Lloyd's also sent in a picture of her wildflower card. Lovely set. Lisa says good afternoon from a sunny Minnesota. This is just bragging now, just showing off. There we go. So those are all of the comments. We're just going to have a quick break, have a video all about our Club Inspire. We keep telling you about your platinum prize. We keep telling you that today's all about double points. And here's what will happen if you get your points.
Welcome to Club Inspire, the crafters' companion community where you can feed your crafty obsession. Join our fantastic loyalty club today and receive 20% of your first order. We'll also give you 250 points to help get you started. Other benefits of joining Club Inspire include exclusive special offers and discounts for Club Inspire members only, exclusive sneak peek previews of brand new product launches, and of course the Club Inspire community group on Facebook, where you can access exclusive content such as downloads, offers and inspiration, and of course you can chat and share your makes with other members. You'll receive 1 point for every £, dollar or euro you spend, and the more points you receive, the more benefits you'll unlock. So what are you waiting for? Sign up, join the club and start rewarding yourself today.
Welcome to Crafters TV. With more than 35 hours of live shows each week, it's your home for all things craft. So, join our family of craft experts with live tutorials and demonstrations every day. We shine the spotlight on new and innovative crafting products here on Crafters TV. Get creative and craft along with our amazing deals. Your next craft project is only a click away. Tune in live 7 days a week or watch on catch up at crafterscompanion.com, Facebook or our YouTube channel. You can chat to us, craft along and meet new friends in our online crafting community.
You entertain us, you give us a community to talk, in the chat. That wouldn't happen without you guys. It's like Crafters Companion is magical. There's magic here.
You all had time with each other! You're not through to boot camp. Get off!
There's a show for every type of crafter, from first-time dabblers to full-time makers. So, stop what you're doing and enjoy the fun here on Crafters TV.
What makes Crafters TV so special is you guys.
It's really special because the experts are really experts. They're really skilled at what they do, and they want to make sure that the audience also improves on their skills.
Crafters TV is so special because you've got together a really sort of key group of people and people that are very passionate about the products.
Crafters TV is so special because it's a unique community that we have with each other where we can learn and grow and communicate with each other.
Community, the family spirit, the education, everything to do with craft. We are all like-minded people who share a passion.
I love all the inspiration the demonstrators bring and all the knowledge for us out here.
What makes Crafters TV so special? 100% it's the interaction. No other crafting TV channel or show has the same interaction.
I love the community, I love chatting live, I think that's the best part, and it's gone beyond crafting because we've become friends.
It feels to me to be a really, really close relationship with our customers and viewers.
You guys make us feel like we're part of your family. I've never been on the show before, but one of my friends who I did meet from CCTV encouraged me, and I was on the craft along.
A massive team of people, and I think they've all got their role to play, and it just brings everything together. It allows us to do our job and just love it.
The people, obviously, the people not just here at Crafters Companion, but the viewers that watch us. I mean, everybody. We have this real magical essence about it.
Bye for now. Bye.
I love seeing everybody's interaction with the channel. It's so, so special. So Betty says, Jay says, show the card. She's leaving the room. Susan Griffith says, show the card. Christy Mahoney says, secret. If somebody told me not to look, I would still look. Have you found the card? Oh, we've got it. Have we got it? Can we show it or not yet? Can we show it? All right. So, Betty, if you are in the room, please leave the room. This is Jay's first ever card. Look at that.
Beautiful.
The flower is, say it with flowers, isn't it?
Yeah.
Isn't that
is absolutely
gorgeous? Well done, Jay. You must be so proud. He's done paper piecing and everything. Wow, that is amazing. There you go. Well done, Jay. She's going to absolutely love that. You can tell Betty she can come back in now. There you go. Tell her she can come back in. We want to hear for the rest of the show, please. Right, I've got something. Now, at the end of the month, 3 weeks as of yesterday or Saturday, towards the end of the month, we have and craft along that I'm doing. I've got one craft along next week and then I've got one a fortnight later. And it's all about the reveal wheel. And we've worked out that Hannah is going to be doing that with us. So this is this die set. So if you think you might like to craft along with us, then now is the perfect time to get it, because hopefully in 3 weeks' time it will all have been delivered and you'll have it ready. So what is it? It is the Sentiment Reveal the Wheel. Now this is your worker die. So this is the bit that spins inside. And these are the mechanisms that are all going to make it work. You're doing a demo with this one next, are you, Jan? Is that right?
I am, yes.
So Jan's going to show you how it works. So you can see it sits on the front of your card. This one turns round, and then you can have the different sentiments in there. This one, unfortunately, has got a little bit squished as we go. So you need the worker die to make it work. So that's the first bit you're going to get. And then on top of that, you're going to get all of these. So let me go back to this one a minute. You've got one of the aperture dies here. We'll show you what this bit's all for. And then you've got different ones. So we've got a speech bubble one, and then all the stamps coordinate. So within this set, the speech bubble, you're not going to get the worker die. You're just going to get the extra aperture and the sentiments that work. So you've got all of these big, enormous, huge, massive, and so it's things like thanks from me to you, congrats to you, hugs to you, and sending. So it'd be hugs and big and all the rest of it. So it will work that way. So you've got the speech bubble, you've got the sweet delight. Again, you've got words that are going to, the sentiment all match. So it says to a sweet sister, to a lovely friend. You can mix and match them. So you can spin the wheel and then they can see what they are. We have got from the heart. Again, so this is a heart aperture, sort of heart words. And you will see that the shape of these stamps here all fit perfectly with the shape of that aperture. I think you could probably mix and match them around quite a bit if you play around with the apertures, but they have been designed. So then we have got absolute star. Again, the words are sort of a bit more compacted to fit within that star aperture. There's a lot here. Dreamy cloud, that's a nice aperture, isn't it? Oh, the stamps are falling off. And also, have we done that one? We didn't do festive balloon, did we? No, we did bubble. So festive balloon as well. And again, what useful dies. These are going to be able to be used well away from this collection if that's what you want to. And then you've got all of the stamps. Now, this should be a few pence shy of £50, $68. But for today, you're going to get it for £24 or $34. But your platinum price, there we go, $19.20, so it's way under half price, or $27.20. An absolute bargain when you see what you're going to be able to do with this. Kinetic cards, people love them. They just have such mantelpiece appeal, if that's the best word, and this is going to help you to do that. And your dice won't all fall off like mine just have. So there we go. Jan's going to show you, she might have some finished samples, but she's also going to show you how to make these.
So I'm going to do the concept first to show you how that actually works. Now, when I first got these, I was like, oh, right, let's have a look. There's this bit, and there's this bit, and there's this bit. And I turned over and I thought, oh, there's no instructions. But on the top of here, if you just have a little look on the back of your packaging, there is actually a link to our website. So if you actually pop this into your search bar, it will take you to exactly the right place on our website where you can download and print a set of instructions if you have access to a printer at home. If not, you can save them onto your laptop or your computer or your iPad, whatever, and you've got them there to read if you prefer to have a step-by-step instruction. There are also lots and lots of demos that we've done over the time that these have been launched on Crafters TV. So there will have been the original launch, there will probably have been a launch party. If you just type in Crafters TV Reveal Wheel on YouTube, you'll probably be able to find some of the previous demos. So, like Corrine said, you get the concept set that will work on its own. It has the little aperture in here and it has the stamp set. So, for example, I've got have a, and then in here you might have brilliant day, you might have a great day, you've also got a fabulous day or a terrific day, and I'll show you how all this works. So that's the little aperture. And then you've actually got this large wheel that's going to cut out, and then you want one of the small ones, and then I'm going to take this little sort of semicircle piece off as well, and I'll show you what these do. Just double checked that most of my words will fit in there. You can see, you know, that they still, even the longer words, we're still going to be able to read what they say through the aperture. So it is worth just checking that when you look at them all, but these all just sort of fit in there nicely. So I'm going to use this one and I'll show you how all these pieces work. So the first thing I'm going to do is cut into the sort of top of the card. If I show you where I've got to here, I've actually taken my card blank, which is, I believe, if I remember rightly, it was the 5 3/4. Yes, so this is out of a piece of A4 cardstock. All right. 11.5 inches by 5 3/4, scored down the centre, and I'm going to have it as a tent fold with the fold at the top. And I've put my mat layer on, and then I've just stamped ready in position the little arrow on the side, which is actually going to give people a hint that there'll be some movement here when we've got this part sorted. So the first thing we're going to do then is we need to work on the layer that goes on top of here. So just for the benefit of the demo, I've actually got one done that's going to go on top of here, but I wanted to show you how I've arrived at it. So I've cut my top layer just that fraction smaller, and I tend to go 1/4 of an inch smaller. So the card's 5 3/4, the mat layer will be 5.5, so this one will be 5 1/4 inches square. And then using a ruler and a pencil, you want to just measure halfway on all 4 sides. You can see where I've done this here. And then I don't know whether it's actually showing up because it's very, very light. I've just joined them and made the crosshair because I need to know where that centre panel is on here. Okay, just do it very lightly, and it does need to be on the front. If you do it on the back, you can do it on the back, but you've got to remember that everything's working in reverse. So for example, I want my little wheel to turn here. If you're actually working on the back, it will be on the opposite side, so just be aware of that. So I tend to do it really lightly on the front, and we're going to cover some of it up anyway. We're going to cut some of it, and then the rest of it I would just rub out with an eraser. So I want the little half circle, and I want my aperture. We're going to cut those first. So again, it's important that these stay in place, so you do need some tape for this. So we'll take the circle, the semicircle first. Let's move these out of the way. And what I'm going to do is at the right hand side, because this is where I want my little notch for the circle to move here. All I'm going to do, this doesn't have a cutting edge along this straight edge here. So I'm going to line that up with the outside of my card. And the reason we've left the gap in here is so that I can see the line through it. So where I've drawn my pencil line, I'm going to centre that in the middle of that groove that's in my die. And then literally, once I'm happy with the position of that, I'm going to tape it in place so that it doesn't move. Okay, now the apertures all work the same. They've all got this extra little piece on here that doesn't have any die cutting edge. You've got your shape that's got the die cut round it here, but you can see this is just a little flat piece of metal to help with the positioning. So where your 2 points cross in the centre of your card, there's a little tiny notch in the bottom of the aperture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop that notch so that the centre point of my card is just nestled inside that notch there. And then I also want to make sure that the top of my aperture is level with that vertical line so that it's in the right place. And again, once you're happy with that, you want to make sure that you tape this in place because you don't want it to move and be in the wrong place. So the first thing we're going to do is pop that through our machine. And then while I'm doing that, I'm actually going to cut one of these big wheels as well. And I've just got some plain white multi-purpose cardstock that I'm going to cut this on just so that I can show you how to do the stamping as well. So we'll pop that on here. I'm not going to risk it moving, so I am going to tack it down because I've learned my lesson the hard way. There we
all
go.
have, Jan. We all have.
Oh gosh, tell you at home, my Gemini's actually on the drawers behind me. The number of times I put everything in my plates, spun round to the die machine, and the dies have just spun across the craft room.
Frisbeed across the room.
Yep. So I've learned the hard way. It's like get them stuck down so that they stay where they are. Normal thin metal dies, normal shims, and then pass that through your chosen machine. Okay, if you do these separately, they would have gone through my Gemini Junior plates, so I could have either have used those in my large machine or in your Gemini Junior. And again, to do them, cut them both separately, they would fit through your Gemini MIDI if you use the MIDI as well. So quite versatile with regards to that. Okay. So I'll come back to that one in a second. That's nice and straightforward there. You can just see it's cut out the wheel and it's put me a little hole in the centre there as well. We'll come back to that in a minute. And then this one, just very, very carefully, as I say, roll that tape back again. And we've got our semicircle cut out of the middle there. And then we've got our little aperture cut out of this. Now I tend to save this bit because you've got a perfect little star here. And you'll see what I've done with the one I've cut earlier. rather than waste them, you may as well incorporate them into your design. So you can see now that we've actually got an element. We're going to build up so that we've got this inside, and then this one's going to go over the top eventually, and you can see we've got that space now to actually move the wheel. I've got my little arrow in place to show people that there's some movement there. Okay, now we'll come back to that in a second. I've done exactly the same as that, and I've done it on a piece of pattern paper. So this was out of one of my paper pads, and all I've done, because it was a paper, it needs to be a little bit stronger than paper, so I've just backed it on a piece of cardstock. I think it's a piece of Nina card that's not too thick, so that I've got a bit of substance to it, because obviously you're cutting holes into it, and this is going to be my top layer here. All right, so exactly the same as what I'd done with this one, but I've just done it on the pattern paper.
That's quite a pattern.
It's nice, isn't it? Yeah. So I've got little notes stuck to it telling me what I needed to do, because I prepped these at the beginning of last week. So what I want to do now, before I actually attach this, is show you how to work with the wheel. So I've got my stamping platform here, which I personally prefer to use. Now you can line it up with a mat and a free stamping platform, but I actually like to use it on here because you've got the grid lines to work to. So I want to line up the centre of my crosshair through the little hole in the middle, and then I'm going to make sure that my little notches are actually on one of the grid lines. Okay, so I'm literally just going to look through until I can see the crosshair in the middle. Okay, and make sure that these notches are lined up here with the grid. Okay, now before I do that, I'm just going to put a tiny little bit of dotty tape on the back of here and then I know that it's going to stick in place, because the magnets will actually get in the way of what I want to stamp. So again, just make sure it's nice and centered. It's worth spending that minute or two making sure it's in the right place. Now I can probably just about get away with those right on those edges, because I'm going to stamp in the middle there. And then I'm going to take the stamps, okay, and I'm going to bring the other part of my grid, and you'll see why it's so important to have those grid lines on. Now you can do these one at a time, but I tend to do them all together. So you can see they're on like a little pizza wedge. Okay, I don't know if you can just see that there. It's not easy to see. Let me put it on the dark surface that you can see there. It's not that much better, is it? There we go, look. Okay, it's got the wording on, and it's also got a little tiny notch in the top here. If I just tip it again, you can just see here there's a little notch in the top of it. So what I tend to do is use my crosshair again, and this is on the top part of the stamping platform, and I'm not going to go right into the centre. I'm going to go just above it and marry up the notch. Let me move the bottom grid out of the way so you can see a bit better. Put it on here. You can see here I've gone just above the centre of the crosshair, and I've got the notch lined up with one of the vertical lines there. And I'm going to do that with all 4 pieces. So again, I'm going to come slightly underneath here and make sure that that notch is lined up at the bottom. And then I'm going to go, so I've gone 12 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and then I'm going to go 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And again, just spend the time. See, that one's slightly off. I just need to move it so that that little notch lines up with my horizontal line, and then I'm going to do the same with the last one, and this is going to go at this side. So I've got a slight gap in the center here, which is about the same size as the hole in my piece of cardstock here, but I know now that these are actually going to go in the right place when I actually stamp them down onto my piece of cardstock. And again, best recommendation for this, so that you're not smudging anything, is the quick dry inks. So I'm actually going to do this one in black so that you can see where I'm heading with it. I think the one I've done already is in a colour to match my design, but nice and gentle with the quick dries, otherwise you can end up with a lot of ink where you don't want it. And then I'm just going to turn this over and then stamp that down in position. Give it a press, and these are all now in the right place to work with our little aperture that we're going to put over the centre. Okay, so as it turns, you can see they're all in the right place there. Okie dokes, and then when you've finished, because you've only used a tiny amount of the dots, they will just rub away. Okay. Now then, we've got some of our components at the ready. So again, I've done exactly the same here. I just used a turquoise colour instead of the black ink. I think the black actually stands out better. I think I'm going to use the black one. I like the black, it gives a bit more contrast. Now the second one here cuts out a slightly smaller disc. Okay, and on the back of this one you're going to need some form of raising this. So I've just used some little foam pads on here. You can use pieces of foam tape if you've got it, or the foam squares, whichever you prefer, because this wants to be lifted away from your actual card base. This is going to go on first. Now I was watching a demo that you did a while ago, Corrine, with these, and I like the idea of how you put the brad underneath to conceal it in there.
Yeah.
So you just need a little brad or a split pin, the one that has the little legs on the back that open apart to close it. It doesn't matter what colour it is because it isn't going to show. Now I've always put this through the front here and done it this way and added it to the circle underneath. But then you've got this against the front of your card. So when I was watching our Corrine, she popped it in the back like so. She held this in place and then she popped it in the centre. Now what I need to do is make sure that I find the centre of my card here. So I haven't actually marked that. I'm just very, very quickly going to measure and use my pencil to just make a mark.
You could do that. You could do it diagonally to diagonally with a white gel pen. And
You
that's how
could
centre,
actually,
'cause it's
yeah.
gonna be
And I don't
covered
even
up.
need it all the way across. I just need to find that central point here. So yeah, I'm just going to pop, it's all going to be covered up. So I'm just going to pop that little bit here.
And it doesn't matter what you do that with because it's covered. So like say, if you wanted to use something like a white gel pen, a silver pen or anything, it wouldn't
So I just
show.
need to know where that central point is here. And then what I'm going to do is pop this back in here. I'm going to take off my little foam pad covers there. So yeah, on there. And then that one's now concealed in the centre.
I like it that way because when I did it, I felt like the brad was secure. That brad can't.
Is the easiest bit.
And the key to this is not to
secure it down too hard. What
yeah.
I tend to do is put my pokey tool underneath it and press it down over the edge of the pokey tool like so. You want it in place, but you want this to spin freely. If you tighten it up too much, it's going to hold this to that other layer and you're going to struggle to move it. Yeah, so you want that freedom of movement. Now, in order for this bit to move, we now need to raise on the back of here, because if I stick this on flat now, again, it's going to secure this in place and it's not going to move. So again, I've got my foam tape with me here.
Jen, while you're just doing that, can I just say to apologise to everybody if we've lost service, we think it's the weather, we've just lost the internet for a few minutes. It's all back now, and we're really sorry if everybody just lost it for a few minutes, but you'll be able to rewind if you missed any of the key parts of Jan's doing there. The weather here is horrendous and we think it caused the internet just to drop out for a few minutes, but as far as we're aware, everything is back up and running now. If it isn't, you wouldn't have heard me just say that, but so hopefully you heard me just say that and you are back on with us, so I must just apologise. And like I say, if you've missed any of it, when we've finished, just go back and watch those couple of minutes where Jan was explaining after the show has finished. So sorry about that.
So
sorry, Jan.
That's quite all right. I hadn't realised. I was busy chatting away and hadn't even realised. So again, I've just gone right around the edge. Now we talked earlier when I was demoing earlier about supporting the middle of the card, but in this occasion you don't want anything to interfere with this piece here. Okay.
Well, you've got the support, haven't you? You've got foam pads under that little disc, so
exactly.
That can't
so
dip.
This one's okay. It needs to do its job. It needs to move. So I've just put my tape around the outside here. I'm just going to work out whether one layer is enough. Yep. Sometimes, depending on the thickness of the pads underneath, you might want to take the liner off and do 2 layers of tape. But just looking at that there, just popping that one on, we've still got, plenty of room to move it there. So when we've taken the, oh my goodness, is that a lorry or is it thundering?
It's going to be a fun drive home, Jan. It's thundering here. That's why, obviously, why we lost the internet and everything. The weather is
Oh my days, I don't like
good.
thunder.
Don't you?
No. I don't mind listening to it if I'm inside, but it best have stopped by the time I go home.
We had our first thunder one day this week just gone. Elsie had obviously forgotten about Thunder, my little dog, and oh my goodness me, I've never seen her move so fast. And she's a sprightly little thing, and oh my goodness, she ran from the back door, she jumped on the sofa and hid under my legs.
Bless.
And she was physically shaking, poor little thing. She was all right.
My little girl's getting on a bit now, and she's actually deaf.
So she doesn't hear it.
So firework night and thunder and things like that don't actually bother her anymore. But she's got an uncanny knack of knowing when the cars come back. I think it's to do with the vibrations. Yeah, she knows exactly when the cars come back on the drive. So yeah, just got that tape. I've not put any around the curve here. That's going to be where the wheel is. I've just gone all the way around the outside of it on the rest of it. And then this one's just that little tiny bit smaller. So I'm just going to hover over the top until I'm happy with the position, and then get that one stuck in place. Okay, and then we've still got the room here to move.
Perfect.
Okay, so decoration wise, as usual, I said come back to the little piece that had come out of the aperture. I've actually popped that on my inside piece. I'm going to pop that in here just so that it all links together. Whoops.
It wouldn't be a jam card if you didn't ink around the edges, would it?
I do like to do the
It looks lovely. It really does look lovely.
I just think it brings it all together. And as I say, when you've got a lot of work on the front, like this has got several layers, it's got the wheel in it and everything, it can get quite heavy on the front. And sometimes it causes the cards to topple over. So just by adding that extra layer inside, and you could stamp another greeting in here if you wish, it just stabilises it a little bit. And then again, I had... from the little star set, it had have a, and then we've got all the words for the birthday in there. In the setup set here, where's my stamp set gone for that one? I've misplaced it for a second or two. But yeah, we've got different, it says, oh no, that's the one I've used there. That's right. And then this one was, let's have a look. We've got You're a Star. And it's Smear It All. And then I said, you know, I wasn't kidding when I said the star die stayed on my desk. Because we've used the star aperture, I've just made some little star embellishments again in the corresponding cardstock. And I'm just going to use these dotted around to actually pop a bit of extra embellishment. But this is optional, you know, these aren't part of the set. These are actually, as I say, they tend to stay out on my desk.
I love the little
and I've got a little butterfly as well that stays out, and they're just there for that. When it just needs that bit of something, you've got that little extra bit of detail there. So again, let's move all the bits out of the way. You can see there, we've got the instruction to move the wheel. So have a terrific birthday, have a brilliant birthday, have a great birthday, have a fabulous birthday, okay? And then if I turn you that one round, you've got the detail on the front there, and then you've got that little bit inside just to pop your message on the inside.
Absolutely brilliant. We are loving that. Now remember, your price today, £24 or $34, and your platinum price is £19.20 or $27.20, and that's going to give you all 73 elements. That's going to give you the worker die, and then all of those different apertures and all of the sentiments that go with them as well. So that is amazing value for money. And as I mentioned, this is the one I'm going to be doing when I've decided what I'm going to be doing, a craft along with at the end of May. It's the last weekend of May. I'm here all weekend. So if you do want it, then pick it up now, and then you'll be able to craft along with us. And I love it when you do craft along. Now, Val Lloyd said she'd been busy using the Wildflower collection already. And look at this. Wow, Val. Oh, you've used that wreath. How beautiful is that? Absolutely stunning. You have been busy this afternoon, Val. And you've been to your concert and you've done all sorts. You've had a busy day today, haven't you? This is brilliant. Right. Jay said, thank you very much for all your comments. He really appreciated it. He was a little bit stressed making it, but we're not going to comment on what style it is because Betty's back in the room saying you're all so kind about the card, but his head will swell and there'll be no living with him now.
Aww.
Well, he deserves a bit of praise if you're getting your homemade card next weekend. Patrina says, my darling girl is sat at the dining table singing Foam on a Roll along with the TV. That was with the advert break. Thea says, hoi hoi everyone, and Colleen has just joined us from Florida saying hello too. Now, it's lovely to have you all here with us. Now, we have got a Create a Card collection. So this is various Create a Card collections. And look at the price, £16. And you have got 1, 2, 3, 4 different, five, yes, 5, I've missed one there. 5 different Creator cards. So that's before your discounts, before your Club Inspired discounts, it is £4 per Creator card. Now think about Creator cards contain a lot of metal, so this is amazing value for money. You're going to get one of your diagonal lace ribbon threading dies, so all of that lovely ways to create your ribbon threading on there. So you're going to get that one. You are going to get, now these ones, it's hard to show them on the board. They look better on the cards. You've got your Regal Diamond. So this is a pop out. Oh, it's been stuck down. Somebody's stuck that down. Oh, I can't. It might have come a bit of damage. So that pops out. You can't see on there. It works out like this one, which is your Majestic Damask, and then it pops out. Oh, that one's been stuck down too. All right, so how those do is they pop out. I don't know if Jan, have you got any finished samples for these on these Creator card collections to show how those ones work?
I don't think I have,
Regal
no.
Diamond and the Majestic Damask. That one pops out and that does rotate. Somebody's stuck them down, but all right, we'll have to try and show you some another time on those. We've also got 2 of our colourable Creator cards. We've got our beautiful butterfly. So you get 2 different dies so that it can cut into your cardstock if you just use the one, or cut out. Once you've cut them in or out, you then take the stamp it over and colour it. But because these designs have been designed specifically with colouring in mind, they are absolutely gorgeous to colour. They are so colourable. And then you're also going to get your Dragonfly Dreams, and that one's falling off on there. We need a new way to stick these on. So we've got Dragonfly Dreams as well in our Creator card. So that way, there we go. So you're going to get all of those for £16 or $24 if you are a Platinum member. Now, just remember, these are, so is this one a Monday mega deal? That's a Monday mega deal, so that one will run out at midnight tonight. So there we go. Right, going to have a quick look. Wildflower. So I think this is going to be Jan's last demonstration. You just saw all the beautiful cards that Val has been making with this. There we go. So you're going to get the paper pad. We've just had a message come through from Amy Shelmar saying, I love watching all the great ideas on here. I have placed 2 very large orders in the past 9 days or so. Wonder if you've included the Wildflower, Amy. So you're going to get the Wildflower collection, which is your 12 by 12s. You're going to get your A4 linen cardstock, your luxury linen cardstock, which coordinates brilliantly with that. You're going to get that beautiful wreath die that was on a couple of Val's cards, which is beautiful. You're going to get your mailbox flowers, which is your flower dies. All of those, look at how many dies you're going to get. There's so many dies. And the stencil to make the little bouquet. So we're going to give you 50 of the little paper pieces to make your bouquets with. We're going to give you your stamps, all of those stamps, and as we were saying earlier, some have got flowers on and some are plainer. You're going to get your, look at this, it's so much. You're going to get your embossing folder, which is that beautiful card that Jan made earlier, and you're also going to get your edgeable die. All of that is $79.99 or $99 today. So it's what's left of the original collection, but you're going to pick it up today, $63.99 or $79.20. Now remember, it is double points on all orders until midnight tonight. Look at that. That's going to give you, if you're in the US, that's going to give you over 150 points if you bought this today, if you're a Platinum member. It's going to give you 200 points if you weren't, but you're going to be somewhere on the scale. So it's going to give you at least 150 points, which is brilliant. It's really going to help you move up that ladder of points. So Jan, what are you going to show us for your last demo today,
So for the
please?
last one, then I'm going to use that beautiful wreath, all right? So you have got a two-part die, like Corrine explained earlier. You've got the means to actually cut this into your cardstock, or you've got the means to cut it out and be an actual topper. So we're looking at just under 4.5 inches in diameter from the outside edge. So with this one, you're going to get the wreath cut out in a circle. Now, I don't actually want this one. I'm going to cut this, no, I'm telling a lie, I do want this one. I want to cut it out as a topper. And then I'm just going to take this one off that backing card. Now, if you wanted to cut this one on its own, there is no permanent sort of solid cutting edge around the outside. So this would just cut. So for example, if this was my piece of cardstock here, it would cut the design into here and it would leave me this square element as the outside. Now, I'm actually going to cut it as a separate element. So I'm going to cut it with both pieces. Now, we're going to pop this on top of a gift box this time. So I've just made myself a little bit of a you know, sort of, what will we be finished? We will be about just under 5 inches, yeah, 5.5 inches square my box is going to be when it's finished. And I've scored it all up ready. I've taken a piece of that gorgeous sort of, again, it's like
aubergine, didn't we?
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful. This is slightly darker. The one that I used earlier, I said there was like a blue purple.
Yeah.
And then that pinky purple. So you can see there's just a slight difference in them there. This is more of the blue purple. It's like an eggplant colour, isn't it? Which is aubergine, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this one must be slightly lighter than that. And I'm just going to use that as a matte layer. And I've taken a piece from one of the papers there again. It's got that lovely background. And this is going to be my...
Is that from the wildflower paper pad, Jan?
Pardon?
Is that from the wildflower paper?
Well, funnily enough, Corrine, you know, now you mention it, it is, yes. I didn't even have to think this time. I've got my head screwed on. After my senior moment earlier, that was so funny. If you weren't watching earlier, I'm there racking my brains trying to work out which paper pad I'd use, because I knew I'd had 3 separate ones out that are quite similar. And Corrine said, is it not the wildfire one, Jan? And of course it was wildfire. Wildflower, oh my days. It's nearly home time.
That's
all
a collection
I'm saying.
for next month, Jan. Wildfire.
Flower, that's the one, my goodness. So the reason I haven't stuck these together yet is because I'm going to be very sneaky and I'm going to cut my topper out of here, because once I've actually matted and layered it, you won't know that there's a gap. So again, textured cardstock, I'm always very, very frugal with, especially these kinds of colours. Absolutely gorgeous, sort of a vintagey purple there, and it's perfect match for the flowers that are in the cards there, you can see. So yeah, it's really been thought through, and that's what I love about these particular collections. You've got that sort of, if you're not over confident with colours, you know that whatever colour you're going to work with, it's going to match because it's been designed that way. So I'm just going to line these up, and when you're working with 2 dies together, there should always be a slight line, a slight gap, should I say, rather than a line in between. So what I'm doing, I'm working with the outside one and just looking to see that I've got roughly, it doesn't have to be perfect, but obviously I don't want it to be too far across and it be exposed when I do the matte layer. So once I've got this in place, I'm then going to tape it down. So I've actually got about 1/8 of an inch running all the way between the outside die and the internal one there, okay? And then once we're happy with that, we're going to pass that through our die cutting machine. So again, I've just got my junior plates this time with the shims and the top plate, and then that will go through my large Gemini. And most of you that know me know that this is my preferred combination at home. I've always got my large Gemini out on the desk just in case I need that larger platform, but I would say probably 80% of the time I use the junior plates to go through it. So again, we've got that die cut there. We'll take that off the plates there. Die cut beautifully in there. So again, we've got the space that creates the aperture. Now I don't want to tear this, so I'm just going to be gentle with the tape because I'm going to use this layer as my matte layer. And then we can take away the outside layer. So I need to keep that piece, and then literally just from the die itself, just ease that out of the die there, and you can see we've got the most gorgeous. If I put this on here, you can see this. It really is pretty, that one. So I think any of you that have got Mother's Day coming up over in the States, this would be a lovely one to have, maybe a Happy Mother's Day greeting in there. If you were to cut this out of plain white cardstock, you could then add different colours to the flowers if that's what you wanted to do. I actually wanted to keep it purple so that it tied in with the rest of it. So now I've done that, I can stick my piece of pattern paper on the background, and at this point I have to remember not to go mad with the glue because there's a hole in the middle of your card, Jan. So I only need to put a little bit of glue around that outside area.
If it goes into the middle, it'll just help stick it onto the box lid, won't it?
Or onto my glass mat, depending on where.
Yeah, I never thought of that.
So again, that one's just now going to matten layer on there, and you'd be none the wiser that there's actually a big gaping hole in the back of it, because we're going to now stick that one straight onto our box lid like so. So again, now we've got it stuck together, I can treat it to some glue all the way around. And that one's just going to sit in the centre of there. I've just made it slightly smaller than the box lid so that there's a little border just around the outside there. And I do prefer to do all this before I put it together, and then this one is actually going to sit on the top there. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap card out of the bin again.
I'm going to say you're back in the bin, aren't you? I can see you're back in the bin.
Yeah, forever foraging away in the bin. And then I'm going to use my dotty tape pen. So we're just going to just really lightly, it doesn't have to cover every single bit, as long as you've got enough to stick it down, just nice and gently in the direction that the dies are going. So I would never come against the die cuts for fear of, you know, damaging them. Just go in the same direction as the actual die cuts. And then I've just got a few on there, which should be sufficient to actually pop this now. And again, I don't think there is a right way up or down. I'm just going to centre that in the top of my matten layer there. And then turn it over and give it a good press on this side. And then I've just cut some strips to go down the sides here. Again, out of that same paper and mat layer. So again, we'll just use the double-sided tape, and these are going to go. I don't think there is particularly a right way or wrong way, and I've just cut those to fit in the gaps like so. So we'll just get those stuck down, and then I've got a little bit of decoration and a sentiment from that sentiment pack to go on top of your gift box.
Always so much easier, isn't it, to do this before you assemble?
I've always done this bit flat, yeah.
Yeah.
We made a box yesterday. Something to press against, whereas when you put it together, your box is hollow and you're pressing in against something that's got, unless you pop something underneath it.
Yeah.
I've watched videos where somebody's put something underneath so they've got something to press against. But it's just a habit I formed of actually doing them while they're flat, and then the last thing I do is actually pop the corners together. So again, we've got all those pieces on. All right. And then I am going to put the sides together now so that we can just add the decoration on top. Now I do tend to use, I overuse my red line tape, I know I do. I use it for lots of different things, but again, you can use your tape runners for this, you can use your wet glue. I know some people wet glue them and just pop a little clip on them.
That's what we did yesterday, yeah.
Yeah, just while we're on TV, you know, the red line's going to give an instant stick, and we've got that box lid at the ready. Now I've done very, very similar. I've just made the base a wee bit deeper. So I think this one was 1 and 3/4, I think.
Yeah.
And this one was 1 1/2. All right, so a little piece of paper inside. This is the reverse of this paper. So again, I've worked all off one sheet of paper, and that's going to be my box itself. And then from the sentiment pack again, which is here, I've just taken Have a Blooming Good Day and pop that one onto some layers with a little bit of foam tape. So we're going to have this in the middle like so. And then from that original set of flowers that we used earlier when we made that lovely bouquet in the little posy there, again, I've just cut some of those shapes out, and I'm just going to use these as decoration just along here. I don't want to cover up too much of that lovely wreath. I've just put some foam pads on the back there. And again, I've just cut these out and inked them up with a little bit of ink around the edge, and then added a gem in the centre, and you've just got that little bit of extra detail there.
Jan, Sue Benson is saying, is the circle a purple or a blue? Your wreath.
This one?
Yeah.
It's the purple.
It's purple, Sue.
Yeah, it's like there are 2 shades of purple in that A4
Linen pack.
luxury card pack. If I just grab mine out here.
Oh, I can show on here if you want.
Have you got it on the board?
Yeah,
there?
I've got it on here. So
there's one I calls a pinky purple.
So then you've got
the other one's a blue purple.
So this was the one Jan used earlier, which was a pinky purple.
That was what we used on the DL card at the top of the show.
And then this one here, it might look blue on your screens, it all depends, but that is actually, it's a very aubergine purple.
Purple, isn't it?
Can you see on there? And this is the one that Jan has just used.
Yeah.
There you go, Sue. Hope that helps.
So you can see there we've got a lovely little gift box. Have a blooming good day. You can have whatever you fancy inside there. Stand it up, and then inside we've just got the papers in there to match, so that you've got a little bit of detail inside as well.
Absolutely beautiful. Jenny is loving this stunning creation. The colours are just so gorgeous. Carol D said the wildflower papers are completely me. She said that in capitals. And Amy, who said she's placed 2 orders, and I said, have you ordered this? Says, I am ordering the wildflower collection today because you guys do a great job showing them off. Jan's done the inspiration today, absolutely. She's done some beautiful, beautiful demos with that. Now, we need to quickly get on and do demo of the show, because we've also got to do demo of the day. So I hope that our Susie has got her counting fingers at the ready. So are there 4? 4. I thought we've got 3, we've got 4, we've been busy.
4.
So first one.
So we started with the wildflower collection, not the wildfire, the wildflower collection, and we did that DL style card showing you how to put the little posy in the brown paper sort of wrapper there. So that was the first one at the top of the show. So that's number 1, and then I just popped that little bit of extra decoration on the inside there. So that's number 1. Number 2, we went to the word cutting dies, and we made a very celebratory one for our weekend that we've just had here, which is about to finish tonight. So that was number 2. Number 3, we did the reveal wheel. So we had that lovely means of changing the sentiment in our card there within the reveal wheel. And again, just coordinating that inside was number 3. And then number 4, we went back to the wildflower and made that lovely, it's definitely going to be a wildfire collection. We go back to the sort of gift box there at the end. That's number 4. So 1, 2, 3 or 4.
There we go. And Susie says she's ready. So please place your votes and you pick which one you want. I actually can't call this. No, I don't know. I think I know a couple it might be between, but I don't know which one. So I'm fascinated to see which one you all vote, and then it will go into our demo of the day. So this is our pick of the day for today. It's going to expire at midnight tonight. So if you are a platinum member, this is effectively getting 1 box for free. Buy one, get one free. Normally £97 or $130. You're going to get this for £48 or $72. Absolutely amazing deal. But what are you going to get? You are going to get access to our Academy of Colour, the best training, the colouring training around, I believe. It's the best one in the business. This is your flora and fauna and your portraits boxes. So these are these 2. So they're going to be, everything's focused on these. So if we look at the flora and fauna, the first thing you're going to get is you're going to get your 9 pens. Let me bring it down there so you can see. There we go. You've got your 9 pens. You've got your 6 alcohol pens just here, and you've got your 3 aqua pens on this side. So you could say, well, what do I do with these? You are going to have access to the full tutorial. It gives you the access there. The full tutorial by our Leanne, 3 hours of tutorial on how to use these pens, how to create blending, how to transparency, how to stamp with these pens, how to colour with these pens, how to mix these pens, how to blend with these pens, so many things. That's the sort of colours that you're going to be working with. But what are you going to colour? We're also going to give you all of the stamps that you might need. So those have been designed for all of the techniques that Leanne is going to teach you in this box. And that is the sort of things that you are going to be colouring, or maybe you're going to be colouring just like that. Now, you've got all those, but you're thinking, how do I do that? So we're going to give you your watercolour and your alcohol-proof cards in there. So that's the sort of things there. And once you've done that, you're going to be making things like, look at this, with the aqua pens. Isn't that beautiful? Or you're going to be doing things like this with those poppies. Look at the transparency of that water. Do you think you can't colour transparency? You can once Leanne's shown you how to do this. How about creating backgrounds and toppers all the way? Absolutely gorgeous. You're going to be building on techniques that you learned previously on how to add dimension and body. Absolutely brilliant. So that is your flora and fauna. You don't have to choose, you're going to get this one too. This is your portraits. Now, this is slightly different in so much as you're going to get these colours here that are going to be brilliant for hair, skin. I think they're also really good for feathers and fur as well, although this isn't a feathers and fur collection, but I think you can see those colours working with there. Look at that. You've got, again, 6 alcohol pens, all in those browns, those creams, and then you've got the dark grey and black at the end, and then you've got your 3 pens in your aqua. Now, on both collections, you have less pens in the aqua because you can create more colours with an aqua pen. You can add shades and tones and change the colours so much more easily. And then you're going to be doing things like mixing those colours, colouring with those colours, and again, you're going to be colouring the specially designed stamps that have been designed to teach you how to do hair, how to do skin, where to add the light, the shade, the tone. And you will, I promise you, be colouring things like that. Look at the hair. Look at that. Look at the depth and dimension. Isn't that beautiful? The light, the shade on here. And look at the curly one. Absolutely brilliant. And then with that, you're going to again get your alcohol and your waterproof cardstock. Again, you've got full tutorial lessons from Leanne. You've also got full access to the Facebook group where you can ask any questions, where we are a wonderful community and we'll support you in your colouring journey. And breathe. Now remember, £48, $72. So that is today's pick of the day, and that is going to end at midnight tonight. So please don't waste your time ordering that. There we go. Betty says, Jan, you make it so hard just to pick one project. Sue Benson says, Jan, I want to make all of your creations. Stephanie says hello to us all and an early happy birthday to Jan for next week. And then our Susie's counted up and she says demo of the show goes to number 4. There we go,
Number
the last
4,
one.
so that was the little gift box, wasn't it?
Oh, yes. Could I have
so
that
we've
over
got 2 wildflowers
here?
then,
2
haven't we?
wildflowers. I'm just
Right.
going to meet Jan.
I'm leaving the building. We're going to meet in the middle.
There we go. Thank you very much. Oh, there we are. Beautiful. There we go. You couldn't see that. There we go.
We're still here.
So, right. Our 2 projects, as we said, both with a wildflower.
Kathy then running across the studio, wasn't it?
It always goes slow, doesn't it, when you want to speed up. Demo 1 is... Have I got that right? Yes. This isn't both wildflower, is it?
No,
Or is
it's not.
I'm listening to you.
Speaking gibberish today, aren't I?
I was being led by
to get home today. It's a good job my car knows its own way home, isn't it? Yeah, that was the decoupage flowers.
That was the decoupage flowers, yes.
Oh my days.
I wanted your wildflower to win. No. Oh dear, Jan's on fire tonight. There's something there going off there.
Goodness.
It's the decoupage flowers.
I'm on holiday next week. That's it now.
Yeah, she's on holiday happy mode, isn't she? There you go. You got your beautiful lily in there. That's number 1. Number 2 is this gorgeous box using the wildflower collection. So 1 or 2, please vote, and then our Susie will count those up, and you have a go. So there we go. Which one are we looking at, sorry? Desmade next, so this one. So, this is going to be your last chance to get this. This is your Totally Tiffany desk made. This is unbelievable value. We had somebody say she uses this as her stamping station, so all of her stamps, all of her rocker blocks, you can put your 12 by 12 stamping magnetic stamping platform in there. Your stamping mats will go in there. You could stack up your inks in here, you know, use them, stack up your inks in the little boxes. It's entirely up to you. That would work brilliant. Or you could have it, with all your gilding stuff in, or however you wanted to, or it could be project specific. You're going to get the station, and then you're going to get all of the containers that go with these. So you get all of these. This one's perfect for your 12 by 12 papers, and it doesn't fall over. They're really sturdy. You've got a lovely big box in this one. This is so full, but it really feels really secure. And then all of the extra containers, and you're going to get more of these little ones. You're also going to get these little clips. I could see one, but because it's reversed. There you go. You're going to get a whole pack of these clips. Look at that. It says I've got 10. You're going to get 10 of those in a little bag. And these are used to clip one pouch to the other. So they go like that. Let me put those together, and they go on those little bands, and then they clip like that, and then, oh, I can't turn that one around. You can see on there, that's now, oh, let's push it down properly. There we go. That now is clipped very securely onto there, and that won't come apart. So that is absolutely brilliant. So you're going to get the 10 clips so that you can configure these in whichever combination you want them to be. So instead of being £60 or $72, this today as a platinum price is an amazing deal of £24 or $28.80. Absolutely amazing price. Really, really great. If you're not platinum, put in your code CROWN20 and you'll get your 20% discount off as well. So absolutely brilliant. Oh, right, not come through just yet, not just yet. Still counting, you're still voting, you're still counting. Now, one of our Monday mega deals was this pack of illustrators. We love our illustrator pens. Make sure you're using your code 20. If it's appropriate, it'll take 20% off. This is going to get you illustrators for up to £1 a piece. A 12 pack, instead of £24.99, your platinum price down there is £12 or $20, which is unbelievable value. There are top of the range brush pens. So you're getting, you can see on there, you're getting your bullet tip and you're getting your Japanese brush. You're getting all of these gorgeous colours in our sketching collection. So we call this our sketching collection. You get 2 yellows, 2 greens, 2 sort of blue colours, lilacs, pinks and corals as well. Absolutely gorgeous. If you've thought to yourself, I fancy having a go at illustrators, but you've never, you know, you didn't want to invest in the full one, how about investing today when it's £12 for your platinum price? Absolutely brilliant value, and I promise you, you won't look back from that. So that is great. Oh, Susie said the vote is very close, and then she's done a big drum roll and she's not told me the answer. She's not telling me the answer. Sorry about that, Johnny. Oh, right. Whilst the last count is coming through, tomorrow, Leanne is here. Is it with Ben? Ben and Leanne, and it's all about our duet ink pads. Now, I promise you, I don't know what stock numbers we've got. I don't think we know about that till we see the poll in the morning, all our product list tomorrow in the morning. But if they're anything like our shimmer ink pads, and the feel of all of your comments feel very much like the shimmer ink pads. They're a dual action, they're a water-based ink pad, but they have a very chalky effect. Absolutely gorgeous. You went mad for them when Lily did her first look, but obviously they weren't for sale until tomorrow. If you want them, please tune in early. They'll be on Wake Up Call at 11 a.m. I hope they will last for the whole day. Who knows? Shimmer ink pads didn't last very long at all. Some of the colours were selling out. As soon as they sell out individually, some of the colours, that breaks the bundle and you can no longer buy the big bundle, and then who knows when they will come back. So if you want those, please tune in tomorrow. And I think Leanne's here all day, is she? Oh, Lily's doing launch party, but Leanne's doing the launch day. So there we go. Now, demo of the show. There was only 2. And it was very close between them, so I think it must have been pretty close to 50-50. Goes to Demo 2. There you go. I think you're loving the wildflower collection. Absolutely beautiful, isn't it? So there you are. Congratulations, Jan. I shall put that up on the wall.
Thank you
very much. And that will go towards the end of the week. And you have a lovely week off this week. Have a fantastic birthday
next week. I'm on holiday. My birthday's next Tuesday.
Yeah, so today is your shift for this week, and then you've got the next week off.
It is, yeah.
So there we
I'm
go.
not actually back until nearly the end of the month, because I'm back at the end of that week after that. And I think it's you and I again.
It is,
Corrine,
it's you and
on
I,
the
yes.
Saturday, yeah. So
We're
we'll be
here.
back again then. I think we have another craft vault to open, if I remember rightly.
I think we do. I think we do. So that'll be really
but
good.
yeah, and don't forget to keep an eye out on Crafters TV social media, my social media, for that special offer for my birthday celebrations next week. Yes.
Yeah, it's a bit of a special one.
Discounted products is all I will say, and it's not too hard to work out. No, if you know me well, it's not too hard to work out what those products might be.
Oh, yes, that'll be really good. So, thank you for everyone joining in. Thank you for your comments today. Oh, Susie's loved this. She says, happy birthday on holiday, Nana Jan, and she'll see me soon. Yes, I'm back next weekend, so I'll see you back then. But until tomorrow morning, please come back. You will be blown away with what our Leanne is going to show you with those duet mark ink pads. I get my words out. I'm running out of words as well now. So, I know. I've used my quota for the day. I'm going to be quiet for 2.5 hours in the car going home. I can do it, honest. Have a lovely evening, lovely afternoon, wherever you are in the world. And we really do appreciate your interaction, your comments. And thank you for sharing your makes. And well done, Jay, on your first card. And Betty's going to love it next weekend. So thank you for all of your comments, all of your interaction, and for picking up all of these things. And anybody that's picked up that wildflower collection, anybody that's picked up anything, but anybody that's picked up that wildflower collection today, you are going to love it. So I'll be back next week, but until tomorrow, good night, have a lovely afternoon, wherever you are.